What is going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. This is your boy Frankie Bones, and in today's video we hop over into the Yankee universe to unfortunately discuss the weekend series up in Boston against the Red Sox. The Yankees continue this slide without Aaron Judge. They are now 3-8 in their last 11 games. Overall, 39-33, 10.5 games back in the division, 6th best overall in the AL. Really pains me to make this video, but we'll go through, break down the games, talk key takeaways, injury news, and ultimately who's on deck. If you guys enjoyed this video, make sure to drop a like and subscribe if you are new to not miss out on any Yankees content coming in the future. So, as you always should, we'll start with game number 1. The Yankees end up getting clobbered in this game. They lose 15-5. Domingo Germán has a really tough start in this one. He only goes 2 innings, allows 7, and really just not much to talk about in terms of the Yankees in this game. We ultimately make a couple of mistakes in the third, and ultimately leads to a grand slam for Justin Turner. And no, he had a big game. 2 home runs, 6 RBIs. Yoshida was 4 for 4 with 3 RBIs. And just going to keep it short and sweet. Have to sort of flush this one and move on. In game number 2, the Red Sox end up taking this game 6-2. Clark Schmidt with just an ass start. Michael King has another rough one again, surrendering some more runs here in this one. And the Red Sox just end up getting it done without the long ball, something that the Yankees struggled to do this year. And the Yankees, again, just really have difficulty getting hits in this one. The offense has been really poor to this point. And, outside of a Glaber, 2-run shot in the first inning, had 3 other hits, no runs, really just, another unfortunate game. Moving on to game number 3. The Red Sox end up taking this one by a score of 4-1. Sevy with an ass start, better than his past few, but ultimately still not good, allowing 3 runs, but no home run this time. One positive to be able to take away from the start for him. The bullpen actually looked really good in this game, not allowing any runs or earned runs after Sevy. Tommy Kahnle continues to look really good, 3 Ks in this outing, but 5 hits in this one for the Bombers, just not going to be able to get it done against a Red Sox team that is coming into their own offensively. So, really just a sad series for us, and looking forward to just sort of putting it in the rear view and just moving on, because to be honest, this team needs to get a bit of a jump start and just sort of regroup and get back on track. Moving on to some of the key takeaways that I had from this series up in Boston. The first note to talk about, the offense has looked absolutely awful since the West Coast trip. Essentially lining up with Aaron Judge being out from the lineup, which obviously we'll talk about later on. Talking about some of the numbers over the last 11 games since we returned. Just over 3 runs per game. And it's really just kind of sad. 3 runs or less in 8 of the 11 games. 2 runs or less in 5 of the 11. So this is just a team that's really struggling to score. We have a bunch of guys that are sort of in ruts, which we'll talk a little bit about here in just a minute. But the offense has really just been a shame when we've had some opportunities to be able to scrap some wins, but just has not happened during this stretch whatsoever. The second bullet that we'll talk about, Sevy. He continues to struggle after coming back from injury. Just talking about some of his June numbers overall. Started in 4 games. He's allowed 19 runs, which is really just uncharacteristic of him. He's given up 7 home runs, 2.04 whip, 9.16 ERA, and really just have to ask yourself, is something up? Is he having a more difficult time recovering between starts? Is there something that is going on? Because he's really just still not looking like himself. He can rear back for that 98 occasionally, sort of as the game progresses. I'm not sure if it's an issue with getting him started, but we need this dominant Sevy back to be able to help bolster this rotation, with Rodon coming down the pipeline, which obviously we'll talk about, but just really uncharacteristic for him. He's had a really difficult June, and moving forward, we just need him to be consistent because the way this offense is performing, we're really going to need some quality starts out of these guys and to help keep our bullpen healthy throughout the summer and leading on to hopefully the postseason. Our next bullet that we'll talk about is what is up with Michael King? Is this even the same guy that has been in this back end of the bullpen forever? It's been so consistent. Talking about some of his June numbers, he's pitched in 5 games, 7.2 innings. Over those appearances, usually he's a multi-inning guy. 6 earned runs for him. Only struck out 6 batters. Just really kind of weird numbers for him. 1.43 whip and a 7.04 ERA. So something's up with Kinger. I really don't know, even what to say. Obviously the bullpens continue to still look really good, but he's a piece that I really want to see continue to work on his stuff, get back on the grind, back in the saddle, and find his true form again, because he's really an impact arm for us. And if we're trying to make this run that I think we all know that this team can go on, we're going to need Michael King there to help us along the way. And finally, our last key takeaway is something needs to change. And it sort of ties into the first bullet. The offense has just been pretty anemic. They've been having a difficult time scoring, but it's these big name guys. The other guys are the ones that are stepping up. I highlighted 5 guys here in particular with their numbers over June. Most of them playing at least 12 games. So definitely a pretty solid sample size. Anthony Rizzo going through one of the worst stretches of his career. .083 is absurd in terms of batting average. Anthony Volpe, 167. Giancarlo, 122. Josh Donaldson, 162. DJ, 171. That's just not going to get it done. And I don't know if it's mentality. I don't know if it's strictly the at-bats. I don't know if it's the order. Something needs to change. And this is a solid sample size, and these guys are just not contributing, especially at a time where everybody just needs to take a little bit of a step up to try and help make up what is lost from Aaron Judge. Obviously, that's a really difficult thing to do, but, it's just insane what is going on with this lineup over the month of June so far. The Yankees have the worst batting average, worst OBP, worst OPS, and that's not going to get it done. So I would like to see something change, and the Yankees need to make some statements to some of these guys that are not producing, because ultimately this is not acceptable. And I think everybody knows that who's Yankees fans. I think Hal knows that, and maybe a message needs to be sent, whether it's publicly or if it's Hal going into the locker room. Something just needs to be done. Slides like this are just unacceptable for a team like the New York Yankees with these players that they have that need to be stepping up and need to be contributing. Moving on to some injury news, we'll talk about 4 different guys. The first one, the captain, the most important guy on this list. He, a few days ago, actually received a second PRP injection to hopefully speed up the recovery process and the healing from his toe. News actually came out that he is dealing with a second ligament in his toe that's bothering him, so that second shot was to address that issue. So again, no timetable has sort of been presented for this. We had heard that he was progressing and feeling better, but sort of contradictory when we hear news of this, so really not even sure what to make. I'm just praying that he comes back as soon as he possibly can and that he's healthy. That's the most important thing. Need him for the long run, but this team needs to figure something out in the meantime. Moving on to Carlos Rodon. He is going to have his first rehab start on Tuesday, tomorrow. Recording this here on Monday. He's going to be pitching in Double-A Somerset. Unfortunately, won't be able to make this one either, but, this is really good steps here for Rodon. He ended up throwing 35 pitches in live bullpens, or live ABs, down in Somerset as well. Said he felt really good, and he just continues to progress in the right direction. I have my fingers, my toes, my ears, everything crossed that Carlos Rodon continues on this stretch of recovery, and it's rumored that he may need about 3 rehab starts to get him up to form. I would just say give him the 4th one, really stretch him out. He did throw 35, but I'd ideally like to have him closer up, definitely over 80, looking at more of like a 90 pitch count, and then we can work from there once we're in the big leagues to sort of give him that confidence, give him that sort of rhythm that you need as a pitcher in the MLB. Talking about our next guy, Nasty Nestor. He actually threw yesterday for the first time since his injured shoulder, and really not much of an update outside of that. He threw just in the outfield, just having a catch, which is good. It's an improvement from where we have been over the last 2 weeks or so, but just gonna have to stay tuned for more news on him. Hopefully he continues to heal and we're seeing the results that we want, but overall just really have not received too much injury news here from Nestor. And finally, ending this segment on a positive note, Harrison Bader. He's expected to return to the lineup on Tuesday. As the Yankees travel home today, he'll rejoin the team and be back in the lineup against Seattle. So this is a big positive. Defensively as well, maybe he's able to give this team that jolt that he did when he returned in May to start off the season. That would really be impactful for this team that really needs to lift here, that continues to slide without the captain. So again, just really hoping that he's able to give that boost and we can just get back on track, because just really a tough spot that the Yankees are in at the moment. And finally, we'll talk about who's on deck for the New York Yankees over the next few series. Again, recording this today on Monday. We're off as we travel back home from Boston. After that, starting tomorrow on Tuesday, the Yankees will host 3 against the Seattle Mariners. After that, they'll host 3 against the Texas Rangers to wrap up the weekend. We'll have off on Monday following those 2 series as we head back out to the West Coast, where we have 3 games against the Oakland Athletics. So the first time around, we did actually take 2 out of 3 from Seattle on the road during our West Coast swing. Hopefully we are able to have a similar result. I know that this team is really struggling so mightily, so we'll have to see what team sort of comes out here in the Bronx. I wouldn't be surprised if there were some meetings and things going on today within the team to just sort of discuss how to get out of this downward trend that the Yankees have been on recently. 3 games at home after that against the Texas Rangers. Obviously a very, very hot team, probably the best offense in baseball so far this season, so we'll have to find ways to be able to try and neutralize that and score with a really good team, which as of right now will be a difficult task. And then we travel out for 3 in Oakland, hopefully able to get a sweep there. The A's are really, really bad. I mean, they've been playing better, but overall this team just isn't good. They have so much going on off the field as well. Just really would feel good to be able to go out there, get 3 that you really need, and again, just try and keep rolling from there. But that's going to do it for this video, guys. Let me know down in the comment section below what you think of this slide that the Yankees are going on, how you would look to address some of the issues that we talked about offensively, whether it be changing the lineup, giving some guys opportunities. I mean, to the big boys that really aren't getting it done for this team, what would you recommend that the Yankees try and do in this spot? But Again, that's going to do it for me, guys. If you guys enjoyed the video, make sure to drop a like, subscribe if you are new. But for now, that's going to do it for me, guys. This has been your boy Frankie Bones, and I look forward to seeing you guys in the next video. Peace out.